Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome back. So today, this word, number one, I'm gonna start out with the question. For you guys, when God corrects you, right? What is y'all's rebound rate for that correction? Because mine's like he corrects those that he loves, okay? Even though I am the way that I am, he loves me very much. It shows with that correction because it's like instant. So what's y'all's rebound rate for correction? um, with that being said, today I have a word. And so yesterday, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, open, transparent, honest. This week is just not my week, okay? I have become, kind of super fed up with certain things. And because they go unresolved for so long, it starts to turn into anger, okay? Like, when the same issue repeatedly goes unresolved for so long, it's like you can't get away from it. And it doesn't just go away. It just festers. It festers and it adds up, it builds up, and then it turns to anger. Okay. And so yeah, I've been dealing with that this week. However, so last night I had a dream. And in this dream, I had found out something about my spouse, right? This is something that I kind of already know in real life, like that's going on. But in the dream, I had like found out about it, right? And I was trying to contact him with my personal like cell phone, and I could not reach him because the phone kept saying that I had to pay like $2.99 in order to get it turned back on. Like the service was disconnected. So I could not reach him. But I was trying to reach him out of anger. I was trying to, what I was going to say on that phone was not good, okay, because of what I had found out. So $2.99 in the Strongs means blameless without blemish. Okay. A cell phone. So let me keep going. So then I was in this house, right? Because there was someone in this house from my past that had told me like about this situation, right? And so then I was in this house and I ended up getting the house phone to make this phone call, and then I was able to reach him, and I let him freaking have it. I was like, da 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 da. And he seemed to not care. He literally could care less. He was very like hateful about it. And then I remember at one point I was even like, I'm just going to get the address. Give me the address. I'm going to get the address and I'm going to drive over there and I'm going to handle it myself. But I couldn't seem to find the address. Which, interestingly, yes, address and address. Like, I would address something. Okay. Then, after all this is said and done, this man, this very joyful man that I now know was probably representing like Holy Spirit or Jesus, hands me this bread. This really nice piece of looking bread. It wasn't like stale, crusty, whatever. It was a very nice looking piece of bread. And he just hands it to me and he's like smiling at me with all this joy. And I just ever since I woke up, I keep hearing John 10:10. I came so that you may have life and have it more abundantly. The bread, abundance, right? Yeah. So the difference between, I'm like, what is the cell phone and the house phone? Like, why was the cell phone not able to go through? And I was getting blameless, faultless, like, the way God would want you to behave, right? But the house phone would go through, and I was able to call him, get in touch with him, and get into it with him, right? God is saying through this that the cell phone, my personal cell phone, represents like now, in the now. And he's like, that's not how I'm gonna allow you, that's not how you are going to act now. In the past, landlines, house phones, people used to use house phones. That was in the past, right? That's why you were able to get away with that stuff and behave in that way. But we're not in the past anymore. He's like, I've brought you into new. I've done work in you. I have taught you things. I have shown you this new way of life, and that's not acceptable anymore. Like, that's not who I call you to be. That's not who I desire you to be. And you are to behave in a blameless and faultless manner, pure, right? I had also literally seen a license plate today sitting right in front of me that said, "Love is the way." And it had the number 281 on it. And 281 in the Strongs means verily and truly. And I just hear Jesus like, truly, I tell you, love is the way, the only way. Walk in love. I had also seen on this truck next to me, 1993, which in the Strongs means to silence, to stop the mouth, to hold one's peace. It implies a forceful or authoritative action to prevent further speech or argument. That's why he cut the connection off. He was like, nope. We're not doing this. And on the same truck, it literally said emergency shut off. And it had the number 3 in red on it. Like the Holy Spirit, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Like, no, ma'am. Emergency shut off. Zoop. And then literally right in front of that truck was a big giant truck. I'm sure y'all have all seen at this point by now that says super ego on it, right? Walking in love. So love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not boast. Love does not, there is no pride, right? No ego. None of that exists when you walk in love. And another thing, I had gotten $13.99, which means, actually, I'm going to do a part 2. Well, maybe I put 2 videos together. We'll see if that works out. So I had went to Target this morning after all this, right? And at Target, I was doing a return. I typically, when I do returns, I don't allow the money to come back onto my debit card because Target takes way too long to do the returns. I don't know if it's Target or my bank, but either way, it sometimes can take like 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, no. However, her and I were talking nonstop. I forgot and just let the transaction go through. She did it back to my debit card. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I didn't realize we were talking so much. She's like, well, I think I can fix it. So she like went to void the whole entire thing out, right? And then redid it and refunded it to a gift card, a Target gift card. So I go down to Starbucks and I'm like in the checkout line and she comes running up to me. Hey, you. She's like, I never put the money. Don't use that gift card. I never scanned it. I never put the money back on it. She's like, we were talking so much. I forgot. She's like, in 16 years, I've never done that before. She's like, next time, don't talk to me. Going back to silence. Don't talk, right? And the gift card balance was $13.99, which means a female slave, a servant, women who are in position of servitude, highlighting their humility and dedication to serve. Okay. 1 Corinthians 7:23 7 in general is about marriage. But besides that, 7:23, 1 Corinthians 7:23. Okay, it says, "You were all bought for a price, so do not become slaves of men. Brothers, your new life with God, each one of you should continue the way you were called." So live as God has called you, right? It says, you were bought with a price. And that goes back to a number that I had received a few days ago that meant ransom, okay? Ransom, a price paid to redeem someone from captivity and punishment or the possession of an enemy. So God has already paid the price for you. Jesus paid the price for you, right? He came to give you life so that you may have life more abundantly. Do not, once he has redeemed you, right? Like once you, that price has already been paid for your redemption, right? Do not allow yourself to go back to the past, because it's not going to work. He's already brought you too far, right? That's why he corrects you. He's already brought us too far to go back to that, right? He's already shown us the way. He has shown us how to behave, how to speak to people, how to handle people. That doesn't mean that you cannot set up boundaries. That does not mean that you cannot have standards. That does not mean that you allow people to walk all over you, right? You can have all of those things. That's completely fine, right? Just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you just allow people to handle you and treat you in whatever way, right? People seem to forget that. But what it does mean is that it's the way, it's your delivery on things. You can't just go speaking however you want to, right? Out of anger and pettiness and pride and ego and all of those things, right? You leave that to God, because God will handle it at the end of the day. He might not handle it in your timeline, but he will handle it. And he just expects you. It's his battle to fight, right? Not yours. So I don't know what the situation may be for you. But at the end of the day, on this walk, he is calling us to walk in love. And by doing so, what walking in love looks like is treating others the way that you would like to be treated. Being patient, being kind, not allowing your pride to get in the way, right? Just walking in love. And again, that does not go to say allow yourself to get mistreated, mishandled, and walked all over and just handled in any way, right? Don't lower your standards. That's not what I'm saying. Right, but there is certain ways to handle things, and you got to know when to just zip the lips, bite the tongue, and just let it be and let God handle it and let God do what God does, right? So that's the word I've got today. I do pray that it does reach whoever it needs to reach. As always, if you guys feel led to sow, my information will be there in my description box. I pray over every seed that is sown. I appreciate all of the seeds that are sown. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys have not yet subscribed, if you feel led to, go ahead and do so now. And welcome, and I will see y'all in my next video, whenever that may be. Okay, bye.